everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, hello, my name is Sammy, and today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you guys. If you like content like this, or you also enjoy Animal Crossing content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on those push notifications so that you can be notified of any future videos that I post. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get into the build. As you saw, the floor plan of this apartment turned out really well. And here we're working on the kitchen already. So my idea for this apartment, if you remember from my last speed build, I made a cozy cottage with that mint colored theme for a couple and their dog. So for this apartment, I actually imagined that they finally had their baby that they wanted. Like how I mentioned in my last speed build, I talked about how I imagined that this couple, they lived in their cottage for a while now and they just wanted to start a family. So they wanted to move to a place that they could raise their child in. And this apartment is actually 28 Jasmine Suites in San Myshuno, and the dimension of it is 18 by 7. So yeah, I kind of basically wanted to use this apartment to make this, or pretty much recreate the cozy cottage that I did in my last speed build. So rather than it being an actual house, it's in an apartment. So you'll see a lot of the same items that I used in my last speed build. So I imagine that maybe the husband, he's good at carpentry, so he decided that he wanted to do something nice for his wife, and he ended up what's the word? He ended up recreating everything, or not everything, almost everything that they had in their old house that they couldn't bring, like these cabinets. I wanted to use the country kitchen kit. I wanted to use that here again. I thought it'd be nice to have that same vibe going on into the apartment that they had in their regular house. So you can see that the kitchen is basically done. I'm just cluttering up a lot of items, and I am sticking to that mint green theme. I think it's nice to have that theme still going because it really matched their personality, I believed. So you can see that I used the mint green version, and I love those white curtains that come with this item. I know that some of the kits, especially the Cottage Living kit, like the color swatches of the curtain that come with the different items in this, they're a little bit funky because I believe that the blue one has like the pink, I think it's pink, the pink curtains. Yeah, I know a lot of people weren't a fan of that one. Like, I think it would have been better to have like a white or tan, or at least neutral colors for the different swatches in the Cottage Living pack, but it's okay. So yeah, the kitchen is basically done, and now we're moving into the dining room. I wanted to keep that same small table, and then I just added chairs. I really like this little nook in this apartment. The fact that it has like this different type of shape. It's not just flat. I love that little angle that it has to it. So I believe the chairs that I'm using is base game. And then the table and this console where the china plates and stuff is from Cottage Living, I believe. And here I'm just putting up some curtains to block some of the areas or not areas, to block some of the, to give the place a little bit more privacy. Because I know even though they are at the top floor, I think you can still see inside from other buildings. So I just wanted to make it more realistic and give them some privacy. And now we're moving on to the living room. This build actually came out pretty nice. It was pretty easy to try and incorporate different items because I had already used these items in the previous build where I had to make a full house. But this one I'm just basically using the same items but adding a little bit more because they do have more space in this house now. I imagine that this couple, like, they still enjoy having people over despite having kids, so they have a lot of seating areas, and even their friends from back home on Henford-on-Bagley, like, they always come to visit because they are curious to see how the baby is doing, and they're just concerned, and they're good friends. They just want to hang out with them. And here you can see that the living room came out really nicely. I used the same couch. That couch is actually the reason for why I made the build the way I did in Henford-on-Bagley. I absolutely love the color of it. Like, seriously, like, that color is just so beautiful, and I knew that I wanted to incorporate that in a build, so the theme basically came off of that that color and that couch. And at first I was going to use the same table, the same small circle table from Tiny Living, but I decided that since they have more space, they have the husband made a regular coffee table so that they would be able to use it and it could hold more things. And I think that painting above the fireplace, the farmhouse or the barn, I think it came from Seasons. And I thought it was so fitting that there was a barn there because maybe like they miss home. They're in the city obviously, so maybe they miss home and they wanted something to remember Henford-on-Bagley by. Obviously they do probably visit, but it's still not the same as living there, so I thought it was a nice touch to have that. And as you saw before, I did a little cheat with the pet bed. I put it in that basket and raised it up too. I think as long as you raise anything up by 2, it's still functional. So surprisingly, it is functional. Your bed or your pet will still sleep in the bed whenever they want to lie in it. So I thought that was pretty cool. I actually learned that from another YouTuber. Their name is Simtopia, or that's their YouTube channel. But yeah, they have pretty good tips and tricks when it comes to Sims builds, and they also have really nice builds that they do. They do stop motion builds, and yeah, I think their YouTube channel was the first that I saw when it came to Sims when I first got into Sims. But here we have the entryway. I imagine that this place is actually pretty cluttered. They're expecting a child, or they have a child actually. From my gameplay, when I used this couple, they did have a child. They had a daughter. Her name is Bella. I basically did it by random. I decided her name by random. But anyways, we're moving on to this room. It's actually the laundry room. So we have the washer and dryer, and it's a pretty small space, so I didn't really include too much in it. Just a little clutter items like the soap and the, I don't know what that's called, the bucket. Yeah, so there's pretty much, it's not the craziest design for this one. Then I think I add a broom and maybe, yeah, that ironing board, and that's basically done with this room. And here, moving on to the bathroom, I wanted to pretty much make it the same as the way I did it in my cottage living, or in my build on Henford on Bagley. So we have that tiny toilet, and then we're using the mint green version of the bathtub and sink from Cottage Living. And then I still added that nice mint green color of the mirror from Dream Home Decorator. But of course, since they have a toddler now, we had to add a little tiny toddler toilet. And then, oh yeah, the red shelf that you see that I use to help clutter items, that's just a custom content that helps to place items easily on different levels. So like here you can see that I'm placing it at the same level as the mirror, and then I'm able to clutter it with items like the soap and toothbrushes. So I'll make sure to link where you can download that in the description down below. And I'm also using the tool mod by Twisted Mexi, and I'm using the Better Build By. So my inventory of items is organized. It's actually really organized. I love the Better Build By. It makes things so much easier when you're a builder in the game. And here we're moving on to the parents' bedroom. I really love this wallpaper. I absolutely love it. It's so cute. And basically, there's not much space. I gave a lot of space to the rest of the rooms, or like the living room and the kitchen. I guess the bedroom could have been bigger, but it's okay. Everything's still fully functional, so I don't mind. So I'm just putting this shelf above the bed and just cluttering up with some items. That's just me. I love to clutter up builds, or I love using cluttered items in my builds. Is it the most functional for a home? Probably not, but this house is fully functional, so I didn't mind it too much at all. Even though it may look, or the bed may look really close to the window, it's still functional. Both of your Sims can still sleep in it. And I decided to put a small TV from the Tiny Living pack, just because maybe like the parents, they just want to hang out in their room and watch TV or something. Like, you know, like I feel like parents sometimes do that. I know my parents had a TV in their room, and sometimes they would just hang out in their room rather than in the living room. I guess because my brothers and I probably, like, especially my mom, drove my mom crazy just a little bit, but we're older now and we love them. We love our parents. And last thing to put in this room is basically a rug. I was unsure of how or what type of rug to put in here because the wallpaper already had so much pattern. And now we're working on the toddler room. I tried to make the toddler room as neutral as possible because I didn't know if, or like, you never know if you're gonna have a boy or a girl, especially when you're doing gameplay yourself. Like, if you're downloading a room from the gallery, like, you want a room that's neutral color so that you can easily change it to the color that you want after. So my Sims ended up having a girl, and I thought it matched, or her style matched with this room, even if it is like a neutral type of colored room. I thought it still looked okay. I pretty much stuck to that mint green color. That's why I'm using that toddler bed from Eco Lifestyle, which is probably hands down the best toddler bed that we have in the game. I really wish that we had more like it. I think it would be super cool if they added more toddler beds that's like that, or at least fancy, or like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I just really love the style of that bed. Like, it's super cute. And then I imagine that the puppy sometimes sleeps with the toddler, like they're just protective of the toddler. So that's why I put the pet bed in there. And now we're just cluttering up the shelves for, or that's on the dresser. I just put down a couple shoes, boxes, and I think books. But yeah, the Dream Home Decorator pack is like super good when it comes to clutter items. Like, I absolutely love it. It's so cool. And here we're working on the hallway that leads to the different rooms in the house. Not really much going on there. Oh, I guess I went back to the toddler room. I guess I wanted to hang something. I kind of don't like when walls are bare. Even if the bed was there, I think it kind of bothered me. So I decided to put some items from Parenthood. And oh, I guess I left that wall bare too. Didn't realize that. And since I was in the Parenthood filter, I decided to just clutter with the different items that it has. So here, I really love those tree decals for the toddlers or like children's room. And I thought it looked super cute with the hot air balloons. So I think now the toddler room is completed. And then here, I just wanted to put some side tables in the hallway. And I think I'm going to clutter it up with some stuff too. Surprise, surprise. I always clutter up stuff, so it's definitely not a surprise. But I actually end up switching out these side tables or drawers with I think from Dream Home Decorator. It's like a 3-tiered. You'll see it coming up soon. I come across it and I'm like, oh, I'd rather have this here actually. Right here. So these things, it's like a bookshelf, or one is closed and one has a bookshelf. I tried to make it fit with all three of them, but obviously it looked too cluttered, so I was like, okay, I'll just stick with this. And then I do use the red shelf to help to put items on top of it. I think I actually get rid of that drawer. Yeah, I get rid of it entirely. I end up putting a plant there. Surprisingly, there's not too many plants in this build, although there should have been. It kind of makes sense. And here is the last room that we are working on. This is actually my favorite room of all time that I've did throughout this whole build. It is actually a knitting or crafts room. I imagine that the mom, since she became pregnant and she wants to take care of her baby, she's a stay-at-home mom. She doesn't go out and work anymore. Only the husband goes out and does work, and she has her little office that she does her crafts, and she does knitting and cross stitching. I think this room was especially made me happy because I've actually gotten back into crocheting. So this color scheme and all the items, the yarns and everything, they just made me so happy being able to use them in a build because it's relatable to me. I have a whole container of yarn that I have right now that I'm trying to work on different projects. I actually made myself a sweater vest. I am actually very surprised at that. But I made myself a sweater vest and I was so happy with how it turned out. But yeah, we're pretty much done with this build other than me cluttering up the items. The last things that I have to do is clutter up the shelf that's on the right side of the wall, and cluttering up the table and putting down a rug. But I'll just leave the voiceover here for now, and hopefully you guys enjoy the screenshots. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified of any future videos that I post. And this build will be available on the gallery, and my gallery ID is SammieGames _ if you're not entirely sure of how to spell it, it's down in the description below. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Bye!